What's up, guys? This is Tanner Invest here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today, we're just going to talk about my overall thoughts on the digital asset treasury world right now. Companies like BMNR and SBET, they haven't been performing very well lately. And so I'm going to talk about what I'm doing with my positions. And spoiler alert, not doing anything, guys. I think it's kind of funny to me how X has shifted over the past couple weeks. I mean, the sentiment around cryptocurrency right now is like as low as I've probably ever seen it. The sentiment around SBET in general, SBET's getting really hit on. And then there's some funny memes coming out about Tom Lee and how he's like running away from investors and all these funny things. So that being said, guys, holy crap. Like, whoa, get a grip on yourself, guys. Just take a breather. Take a breather. It's cryptocurrency, guys. We're talking about ETH here, which is like 2 times the volatility of Bitcoin. And we're upset that it's drawn down from 4,800 to 3,800, which, by the way, it's done now like 5 times. We've been consolidating in this range for a while now. But we got to remember, guys, how many catalysts, how many positive catalysts are coming. If you guys need a refresher, I'd recommend this video. I'll put it right here. I had 40 reasons why I think BMNR has the chance to skyrocket in value over time. And keep in mind, this is not financial advice. I don't want you guys to lose any money by following something I did. This is very risky. There are catalysts that could literally crush Ethereum in general. There's competition out there. There are, Ethereum network has had 0% downtime. What if there is downtime? I mean, would that completely crush the thesis? There are ways that I could see this going south, but I don't believe so because of the amount of people that have jumped in, the institutions, the really, really smart people that are a lot smarter than I am, that I'm willing to kind of listen to and agree with. And so, one thing, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I actually want to start with something I was planning on doing at the end, but let's look at this, guys. So JPMorgan CEO Jamie Dimon. Jamie Dimon's been famously anti-crypto for a long time. He called Bitcoin a pet rock at one point. Now he says crypto and stablecoins are real and we'll all use them. He's admitted, he's talked about the blockchain. He's talked about that in detail. And so when you take a look at this, I mean, it's just not adding up. There are the amount of stablecoins, guys, that have been used over time. I mean, it's incredible. Like, we can look at this, the stablecoin growth just in October of 2025 compared to September, compared to August. I mean, there is hyper growth happening in the space. I am in the fintech world that's my full-time job, and I personally can see the impacts of how I think stablecoins are going to just affect payment rails over time. And I'm super bullish, as you guys know. So like I said, don't take what I'm saying to heart. Do your own research, but here's my thoughts. Over time, we got to look at not just this last month, not the next 2 months. Like, let's look at this over a year, 2 years, 3 years. Could you see the price of ETH being higher than $3,800 in 3 years from now? Certainly, I could. I could see it being over 10,000 in 3 years, easily. So that is my perspective, though. But I want you guys just to relax. Guys, people are being so rude and crazy on X, like calling for heads of CEOs and just like, dude, like they can't affect the underlying asset. These are leverage plays. When ETH goes down, these DATs will probably go down a little bit further, as you're seeing right now with like MicroStrategy, which I did want to hit on MicroStrategy. I'll actually do that now. My videos are kind of freestyle. I don't want them to be too obvious about what's coming next. So, boom, MSTR, MNAV over time. Look at this. This is important to look at, guys, because right now, BMNR, for example, we're at a 1.25 MNAV, but we've seen it as high as 1.7. So you got to remember that over time, not only is the underlying asset volatile, but also the MNAV of these digital asset treasuries can go up and down. So we've seen MicroStrategy at under 1 about 2 or 3 times in the past few years. So think about it this way, guys. At one point, MSTR was like the SBET of Bitcoin. Like, they're trading under 1 MNAV, but they had a lot of holdings, right? So from 2022, we can see it's gone up from, being at 1 all the way up to like 1.75, down to 1, all the way up past 2 in 2023, then dropped all the way down to about 1.25. and then we've gone up to 3, past 4 MNAV, and now we're back. Actually, this post here was actually about 9 months ago. So if you can tell, this actually has kind of, it consolidated around this 1.5, actually went back up to about 1.7. So actually, sorry, it's gone down a bit over time. But right now, let's just look at Strategy real quick. Strategy.com. I think they're like at a 1.25, similar to BMNR on their MNAV. So yeah, 1.31. So guys, we got to remember that this stuff's very volatile. I think that over time, that's like, remember, there's only a certain amount of Bitcoin in the world. There's only, I mean, Ethereum is deflationary. So over time, like as these companies and as these DATs acquire more, it's less for you and I to have. So I think therefore, as long as the demand of this asset continues, the price should go up. I mean, that's like the whole thesis around cryptocurrency in general, right? Well, Bitcoin, digital gold, similar to the real gold, obviously. So now, October is funny because, you know, cryptocurrency in October typically is pretty, it performs very well. This year, it didn't happen. You know, we have a roughly 6.82% drawdown on ETH, and the other than BTBT, the DATs have gone down. The reason why BTBT actually went up is because they own 71% of a company called White Fiber, which is a data center play, and data centers in October did very well. So that's why their stock actually has gone up. I'm glad to see that their MNAV went from like a 0.4 up to like a 0.76 right now. And then just wanted to show this off. I mean, people are funny. They're acting like it's over for DATs. You know, Granddad, remember when you invested in Sharplink Gaming in 2025? Like as if this is just never going to be talked about again. I don't think so, guys. So, but each their own. And so here is ETH, the price over the last month. We can see it was at 4,400. It's just gone, you know, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and now we are in about the $3,800 range. Tom Lee and many other people are still very bullish on over the next few months, just because there are a few specific catalysts happening. Specifically, the market structure bill, like Mike Novogratz, GLXY. I actually bought a hat through their store. I'm not sponsored by GLXY, guys. I just like the company. I thought this hat was pretty cool. But he believes that market structure bill is going to be one of the main catalysts. I have a whole video on the Clarity Act. You can check that out as well. Not trying to just self-promote, but would love to just more people to understand what's happening in this space. So this is the latest DAT MNAV update. Shout out to Risk on Bobby. Appreciate him as always. So we have 1.25 on BMNR, 0.86 on SBET. We have ETH Machine still doing pretty well at 1.27. We have ETHZilla now has gone down quite a bit. I actually have some ETHZilla news here at the end of the video as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and get into just the overall ETH DATs. So BMNR, SBET, and then ETHZilla are the primary ones we're going to be focusing on today. So Bitmine, they have just been buying the dip, buying the dip, buying the dip. They did it again. You can see actually throughout the last few weeks, they went from, they bought on the 6th of October, they bought 179,000. On the 13th, 202,000. On the 20th, 203,000. And on the 27th, they just bought 77,000. But guys, I mean, they're clearly buying, as they always have been. Since they're trading above one MNAV, they're allowed to, you know, obviously pound the ATM, raise money, buy shares. I mean, that's the whole thing, right? SBET not do that because they're trading under value right now. They're trading under that 1.0. So they tried to buy back shares. I do think that was a mistake, unfortunately, but now I do think they understand that, and they're just worried about figuring out how to stake the best, which we'll get into in a second. So one thing to note, Sharplink now saying the asset is ETH, the ticker is SBET, the handle is Sharplink. They're getting the gaming out, which I think is, I've been saying that since day one. I was hoping they would get rid of Sharplink Gaming, move to Sharplink. A lot of people have been asking for that, so they have. Now they're just Sharplink, not Sharplink Gaming anymore. Their website's sharplink.com. Everything that they have now is just really cool. I wanted to also go to their page to show you real quick what they did this last week. So they announced that they didn't announce any buying. It's actually funny because every Tuesday they announce like, hey, we're going to be buying how much they bought, or if they didn't buy any at all. But this last Tuesday, all they did was announce that they plan to deploy 200 million of ETH on Linea Build through a collaboration with EtherFi, EganLayer, and Anchorage. So they're doing this to just overall help with the highest risk adjusted staking return. So they're going to be doing native staking, and then they're going to be getting direct incentives from Linea and EtherFi, and then they're going to be getting restaking rewards from EdenCloud AVS. So what this kind of is, guys, is it's like, imagine your own finances, right? When you have cash, you want to put that cash in the right vehicle. You don't want to just sit it in a savings account and earn no interest on that. You want to either put it in like a high yield savings account or invest it in the market or do these other things. Now, with those other things, you're affecting that risk adjusted return, right? If you put your money into crypto, the risk adjusted return is going to increase because, I mean, there's higher risk. You could lose money potentially, right? So what they're doing with staking is trying to get the best risk adjusted return. And so they're basically, it's like, imagine putting your money into like a high yield savings account to earn a yield, but then also you're getting a credit card on the side and you're getting incentive rewards from that credit card when you spend money. So they're just optimizing the amount of Ethereum that they have on their balance sheet in the best way to earn the best yield. So that's essentially what this whole bowl is down to in like an explain like I'm 5 version. I did want to show off this kind of funny thing too. On the sharplink.com website under their ETH dashboard, they have this new ETH standard ERA, which is the era, I guess. The ETH standard era represents the percentage return on SBET since the inception of the company's ETH Treasury strategy on June 2nd. This metric compares the SBET price to the pipe offerings at $6.50. So I don't like this, guys. I'll be honest with you. I don't like this at all because the pipe, if you guys don't, if you don't remember, it's the private investment of a public equity. So it's the private investors have made this return, not you and I. We didn't know about the pipe. This is the private. So it's like, hey guys, look, we've done a great job. We've increased our stock price 125%. But to the average person, you weren't buying at $6.15 or $6. Yeah, you were not buying that low. And so a lot of people out there is like, this is a metric to make them feel like they're doing a good job when obviously they haven't. And this is actually, anyway, so I'm going to go here now. ETHZilla. So ETHZilla announced share buyback of approximately 40 million as ETHZilla trades a significant discount to NNAV, or to their net asset value. So what happened is ETHZilla did something that I said is possible, but I didn't like recommend, right? So what they did was they sold ETH and they bought back shares because that's something that you can do. It's like if you owned like a car dealership, I'm trying to put these in like a different way. But if you owned a car dealership and someone came to you and was like, your car dealership's worth only $100,000, and you're like, dude, I have $1 million worth of cars in my lot. How is my dealership worth only $100,000? You could then, what they're doing is they're going to sell to other people. They're like, all right, I'm going to sell some of these cars, and then I'm going to buy back the shares of my company because you're saying it's so undervalued. Now it's worth more, essentially. That's a pretty bad analogy. Sorry, guys. Just bear with me here. I think you get what I'm saying. So, what they're doing now is repurchasing shares, and it worked. This is what I think is crazy, is on the 27th, so you can see here, I'm on their Robinhood page, they announced it on the 27th. And so overnight, I mean, they jumped from 18 bucks all the way up to over $22, had a drawdown, and then boom, shot back up over $23.84. So, I mean, guys, it was crazy. They went up like over 25% after this, which is wild. So in my opinion, what this does in a way is it sets like a floor. It says, don't undervalue me for any digital asset treasury company. If you get undervalued enough, people can just sell their underlying asset, and then all of a sudden their company's worth more because it should have already been worth more in a way. So since that, they were trading as low as like $15.90 on the 23rd, and on the 31st. So over the past week, their stock has gone up, significantly from 15 bucks to $19. And then if you look at the price over the past week of Ethereum has gone down. So they've been going up, Ethereum's been going down. So clearly that buyback strategy has actually worked, and it's increased their MNAV quite a bit. And so, yeah, guys, I mean, that's essentially my video. There wasn't really more I wanted to just talk about today. There hasn't been a ton of news in the space, but I just wanted to like sit down with you guys and say, hey guys, like let's chill out a little bit. Volatility will be a thing. If you believe in the long-term thesis, like we've talked about 100 times, then you should have no problem with holding on. But if you do have a problem with the way the volatility has, maybe it's time to sell, because it's a shakeout. It's a shakeout of those people that weren't quite in it for the long run. You know what I mean? They're not ready for that volatility, and that's totally fine. So, but yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching this video. I'm now at 4,500 subscribers, and I think I just hit over 1,000 on my X profile. So if you guys want to follow me on X, yeah, I'm now 1,005 followers. It's been a lot harder on X to get people to follow you, which is pretty interesting. But I've been enjoying it regardless, and YouTube has been so much fun. So thank you all so much. I plan to do a lot more videos in the future, hopefully like 1 to 2 a week. And so hopefully 2. This week I've been super busy. I actually just spent like something $1,000 on a new addition to the home. So we're actually building a full screened-in porch, and to make my wife happy. So really happy that the market really has, and you know, my income, but also the market this year has performed super well. So I've been able to kind of treat myself. So appreciate you guys, really do. You guys have a great rest of your day. Talk to you guys soon.